When we're talking about the White Queen, I feel like that this show should have been more, even though it is based off a novel. And I'm glad it is based off a book because it actually did a great job. Now, I have not read the book, but I will be going to Barnes and Nobles because I just cannot get enough of the series. I just feel like the White Princess was supposed to be like a sequel to the White Queen, but it just did not do it for me. If you want to check out the book, it is written by Philippa Gregory, and you should check it out. I'm going to check it out as well. But let's get into the synopsis of why this show is messy. I'm definitely going to say this is like a good book turned into a movie because it was just so good. Like, if the film is this good, I wonder how good the book is. Now, let me give you guys a brief synopsis so you can go and check it out because this is drama. Okay, they have age gap relationship, family drama, just a lot of things. And you guys know that I'm a sci-fi girl, so this has a sprinkle of magic because I love like timepieces from different eras. Now, Elizabeth comes from a family of witches, but before we get into that, she is divorced and she has two children. So one morning she gets up and she meets Edward, which is basically the man on the opposing side. They're from Lancasters, and then they have a whole different type of rule because every time a king dies, then like a different set of religion is born. So basically he's off the war because he's fighting to get the crown. Okay, and Elizabeth is basically telling him like, hey, when the last king died and y'all got a new king, my land was taken, so can you get it back? So basically, they're talking and everyone can see the chemistry through the screen. Okay, like eye contact was made, hand touching, it was getting a little bit hot and steamy for the first visit. But sometimes it be like that, especially when you like somebody. You can't really keep your eyes off of them, and like the chemistry between these two actors was on fire, and I actually believed it. Okay, this is how you do chemistry. Okay, remember when I told you guys that Elizabeth's mom was a witch? So basically she had her daughter pick between three lines. She cut the two and she kept one, and the line that she's pulling off the lake is the line that will tell her destiny. So every day she will have to pull it a foot until the ring is back on shore, and then she has to wear the ring to bring her prophecy to pass. Now, in the meantime, while she did meet Edward, he did come back so that she can give him the forms and letters about her property and what it is that she owns so she can get it back, so she can be able to transfer it to her sons. Okay, because back in the day, if you don't have no sons, then you know how they're going to keep their legacy alive. So even though like she did request the forms, her family did see them kissing and everything like that, and her brother is saying that he disappointed in her because are you really going to try to give away your booty butt cheeks so that you can get your land back? Like, what type of girl are you? See, this is why she's trying to move out, because her family's all in her business, because she never said that she was going to be giving away booty butt cheeks. But I do understand because Edward is really from the streets. Like, he literally sleeps with everybody, so I can understand why her brother was concerned. But he needs to understand that she's trying to come up with a plan. So every day she's still willing in that, ring inch by inch, day by day. And she did end up meeting with Edward, and it did not turn out so well because he was literally trying to take it by force. So she was honestly thinking that she's never going to get her land back because she rejected him. And it's not that she didn't want to, sleep with him. It's just like she has morals and values and standards, and he's going to have to put a ring on it if he ever thinks that he's going to sleep with her. Girl, I know that's right, because you should have standards for yourself, and she's not that type of girl that's going to sleep with a guy that's not hers. So the days are literally flying by, and it's time for the ring to come out the water, and it's time for the prophecy to be fulfilled, because she did have to make a choice. What I love about the magical scenes, it's just like subtle. It's not like doing too much. It's not a lot of special effect. It kind of gets to the point, and I love a story that gets to the point. So now she has the ring on, and it seems like the events that's happening starts to synchronize, because now she has to see Edward again, and this is right before he's about to go back to war. He has been going back and forth because they're searching for the last king so that he can be able to kill him and take the throne. So now, since her family is on board, because whoever becomes king, they're going to be on favor. So basically her family's trying to get favor from the king, king because there is a good chance that Edward could win. Now, he hasn't seen her since he was trying to take the cookies out the cookie jar, so he thought it was going to be awkward. But at the same time, he literally tells her that he hasn't slept or anything like that. All he has been thinking about the whole time was her. And she tells him that she has been thinking about him the whole time. Like I said, it's not like she didn't want to give him the cookie. She just had, some standards that must be upheld before he can get the cookie. So he tells her that they're going to get married. And lo and behold, he got his pastor, he got on a horse, and they end up getting married. And all of this happened within a private ceremony, so no one pretty much knew what was going on. So they had solidified their wedding night, and they had a family dinner, and this is where Edward told the dad that sorry that he's barely eating because Elizabeth put that thing on him, that magical sorceress thing on him, and the brother is now pissed off because he's mad because he literally told her not to be giving up her booty butt cheeks, and she told him that I'm a married woman, I can do what I please. And then he tells her that you are dumb because Edward be lying to everybody. Let me guess, he gave you a secret ceremony. Yeah, he tricked you. He literally tricked you to get into bed. Now, Elizabeth is having a little bit of worries because she's like, she really don't believe him. But at the same time, their chemistry is on fire. So now she's actually waiting for him to get there. And then when she sees him, they have another night in bed. And this is where she asks him, okay, so when are you going to tell everybody that we're married? When are you going to tell everybody that I'm your queen? Because we can't just continue to be sleeping together in private. Because if he keeps this on, that means that her brother was right. But I don't think that she believes her brother 100%. But she is starting to have some doubts about exactly what her brother is telling her. Her brother and her dad goes to the kingdom, and there behold, there is a queen that he is supposed to marry because the king and the queen is always set up into arranged marriages with other families that are wealthy. But Edward was not having it. Like he said, he is really in love with Elizabeth, so he goes against his whole family and let everyone knows that he is actually married to Queen Elizabeth. And now it looks like that Queen Elizabeth is moving on up to the east side. She is no longer a widowed woman with 2 kids. She is about to be queen. So her mother is telling her that, you have got everything that you wanted. She's glad that, the prophecy is being fulfilled with her destiny. And lo and behold, remember that her mother's a witch. Now this is where Elizabeth found out that she actually does have spiritual gifts. And this is the first time that she actually having visions of, what's going to happen. So now her family is packed up. She's going to meet her king. They're about to move into the castle, and her dad is basically telling her how happy that she is, but she's really there to get her man. Okay, and he was looking good, and he embraces her. They share a kiss. All the people are hating. The family's mad. The women that he sleeps with around the castle is mad. And they're just going to have to deal with it because Elizabeth is the one. Like, she literally got that spot, and she's older than him. And that's pretty much frowned upon. But as they go into the kingdom, they actually find out that not only does he have family drama, like he got people that are not happy because he did kill the king, and he's going to be setting the new standards to new religion, and people are not liking that, but they're going to respect it. Now, the king's mother tried to come for Elizabeth, but she must didn't know who she was dealing with because her mother had to put the Duchess in her place, and her mother knew a lot of people's business because she was also linked to another queen, which you will find out later within the series. But it seems as though like Elizabeth is living a fairy tale, right? But we'll soon find out that this fairy tale turns into a nightmare because Edward doesn't know that he has enemies inside of the castle that's against him. Elizabeth now understands who's been pulling the strings all along, and now she's going to figure out that not only is her life in danger, but her children's lives is in danger. And the more that she is in this castle, the more perceived power that she has to protect it with her life.